everyone. Welcome to Not Enough Spoons for Mondays. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Neva.
And we are here to just have a chatty morning with you on your Monday. I hope your Monday is treating you well. I hope you have all the spoons that you need to do the things that you need to do this Monday. Neva, how did your weekend go? What are you up to? What was up this weekend, dear?
Well, my weekend was great. I checked earlier just to see. I have officially put in like over 40 hours on wildflowers.
At first I was going to help you fill in with good pizza, great pizza, or great coffee, great coffee. And then I went, she has spent way more than 40 hours on those. So that's not
spent probably more than 40 hours on both of those collectively.
That's what I mean.
But I don't know how to tell on my iPad.
Oh, that's fair too.
Like, I'd have to go into like screen time and like add that up, and who has time for that? I'm a reader, not a mathematician. But on the Switch, you can just go into like your saved games. It'll tell you how many hours you put in your saved games. So we played that, and then my brother and I decided to have a little like movie night on. It was either Friday or Saturday. Might have been Saturday, but he wanted to watch High School Musical because there's like a real TikTok going around that's like kids today, and then it says like it's just a song, and then underneath it says me, and then it's like the whoever's making the TikTok is like dancing and singing to Bet on It from High School Musical 2.
I mean, great song.
Right. And I've been obsessed with these reels because it's just so funny to me because like that's so true. You know what I'm saying? Like I listened to that song and I am immediately Troy Bolton. I'm not a man.
I am ready to go to a golf course and start running through hills immediately.
I'm ready to like throw myself down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm ready to do all
dance like nobody's watching.
Exactly.
Like literally.
So my brother was like, he's 16 for reference, but he was like, we should watch High School Musical, right? So I was like, say less. So we were like watching it, singing it, whatever. Yes. And then he wanted to watch Moana because Moana 2 is now on Disney Plus, and he wants to watch that. So he's like, well, it's been a long time since I saw Moana. So we also watched Moana. So that's what I did this weekend. I also read a lot, but that's part for the course.
Speaking of movies, this is something I should have sent this to you so that we could discuss this, but I forgot about it until you brought this up. But I was watching Stack TV. I got Stack TV so that I could watch the new season of Survivor. So I got Stack TV for my TV. Anyway, that's a Canadian channel and people probably don't know what it is, but I wanted to watch Survivor. Side note, they basically air the same 6 ads over and over for their commercials. Like it's the same thing over and over. One of the ones that they show, again, this is a long story and I promise I'm getting to where I was trying to go. One of them is for this new movie that truly, I don't even know where it's airing or how much it's airing, but it has like a really strong cast of people. It has Paul Rudd in it. It has the girl who plays Wednesday Addams. Somebody please help me with her name.
Oh, I know who she is.
Something.
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. That's who it is. Good job.
We got here with the last name. We got there.
Anyway, it's got like so many famous people in it. And it's called Death of a Unicorn.
Oh, I've seen the ad for this.
Please tell me you've seen this.
I have.
Crazy.
I don't know what the hell it is, but I've seen the ads for it.
Insane. So
it looks crazy.
It looks crazy. And I literally went, I'm pretty sure this is horror. Well, first it starts off like, oh, a unicorn. And then it turns really horror because I think they kill a baby unicorn and then the mother comes to like seek revenge and kills them all. The mother unicorn. So the mother is like savage.
That's a spin on the last unicorn I never heard of.
It's a lot. But like, I saw this and went, this is crazy. This looks like the stupidest movie ever. But like, also this cannot be in the universe. And I haven't seen it with my eyeballs.
Okay. Do you know what this reminded me of when I saw it? I don't know if you remember seeing this or not. But it's an actual movie. Like I saw it the other day at Walmart as a DVD because I thought it was a hoax.
Okay.
Do you remember when they came out with that like the murder Winnie the Pooh movie?
Yes. Yes.
So I thought this was a hoax. And then the other day I was at Walmart getting groceries and I saw it and I was like, oh, I guess they made it into a real movie. That's what this unicorn movie reminded me of, because I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we taking childhood favorites and making them horror?
And it doesn't even look good. Like, I think it's supposed to be like bad. Like, I think they leaned in bad, like almost
It's like
scary
horror.
movie vibe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think it's supposed to be that way. And it comes out on the 28th of March. So like,
I won't be watching that.
What? You will not be watching it?
No,
I have to see this, Neva. I have to see the train wreck that is Death of a Unicorn.
How about this?
And here's the thing. I literally last night I was trying to convince my boyfriend that we needed to go to this. Like, I was like, we must. This cannot exist and we not go. So I went to the movie theater app, and all the movie theaters near us are not showing this movie except one, and only one showing. One singular showing. On a Thursday, this Thursday, on the day it comes, that must be the day it comes out, is the day that they're showing it. It's one singular at 7 p.m. I'm sprinting during that time and was devastated. And I was like, should I cancel sprints to go watch Death of the Unicorn? No, I really do not need.
I just don't know if I want to pay movie theater money to go watch this movie.
Well, that's why I was hoping it was airing on a Tuesday, because Tuesday is like cheap night here.
Yeah, because there are just there's another movie. I mean, I guess I could tell you what movie it is, but I feel bad because I know that you're gonna go see it.
Which one? The Snow White?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going tonight. Literally this evening.
Here's the thing. I need you to tell me how this movie is, because I don't know what it is with actors and their terrible PR, but the drama that I have seen around this movie,
there's so much.
I don't know that I want to pay movie theater.
That's why I'm going on a Tuesday.
Which that makes sense, because you guys have cheap night, right?
Yeah.
And when I lived in Florida, we had a movie theater that did discounted movies like twice a week, where you could go for like $5 or whatever it was. Plus you could get like popcorn and stuff like that, right? But like, the theater that we have in town now is like super bougie. It is like, I think $10 per person or something. It's not like super expensive, but like it's expensive enough that like I'm not going to pay to see a bad movie.
I feel this. I do tend to, like, if I'm going to a movie, I'm going to go on a Tuesday night. Like, it's just, that's what I was looking for. I was like, okay, if it's on a Tuesday night, like I can go for a good time. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a train wreck, it's a good time. And also I get to eat movie theater food, which is really the best snacks.
I think I'm just also annoyed with the fact that I know that they changed the premise of this movie.
The which one? The Snow White? Yeah, that's fair.
Like, and it's not even like a spoiler. Like, they told you this, like, if you have watched any of the stuff around this, like,
yeah, they've been really open.
They changed it so that instead of Snow White being Snow White because her skin is white as snow, she survived a snowstorm, bro.
Yeah,
this is the stupidest thing I ever heard in life.
I can't have a Snow White movie out in the world that I haven't seen. Does that make sense? Like, I'm too much of a fairy tale lover to not watch it. So
truthfully, I think that if it was better, if I thought this movie was gonna be better, I'd feel the same way. But I'm just like, you know what? I have Disney Plus, so I'll just wait. It'll have to come out on Disney Plus eventually.
Yeah. I love going to the movies, honestly. So like, I'm down.
Yeah, I like going to the movies too. Plus, like, the dwarves freak me out. I don't know if I want to.
Well, they went animated and they look a little creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. But what did you do this weekend, ma'am?
What did I do this weekend? What did I do? I went to a book sale this weekend, which was really fun. It was like a used book sale downtown. And for some reason, she keeps having these, which is fine. At like tap rooms. I'm wondering if she like knows the people that own the tap room, which is why we're having it there. But like, it's a fun little Venn diagram of like drinking and book sales.
Which, I mean, the worst that can happen is you spend too much on books.
Really, that is the worst that could happen. So the books were like $3 for a paperback and $5 for a hardback. Like, it was a really good sale.
It's a good sale.
I know. But like you have to get there super early because people like line up. They're like,
and so if you don't get there, then you're not going to get what you want or whatever.
You're not getting the best stuff. So what I ended up getting 4. And truly it was like, you know, like you like walk, it was like you couldn't walk around the table because it was like up against the wall. So you just kind of had to like go in the line and just like follow the line.
Follow everybody, yeah.
Like around the table. So the first one that I saw, I had to like reach over the lady because she was like in front of me and she was like, she was not going to take it. And I saw Lost in the Neverwoods and I was like, that's on my buzzword this year. And I don't own it. And it's a Neverland, you know, Peter Pan, make it gay. Like, come on.
We love it.
So I saw the hardcover and I literally just like plucked my hand around her to like pluck the book out. And what else did I get? Oh, I got No Exit by Taylor Adams, which can you believe I still have not read this? Like,
you haven't read that one yet?
No, we were supposed to read it, remember? And that was when my surgery happened.
You know what? We should reschedule that buddy read.
We should.
And here's why, because I did read it and I don't remember anything about this book.
Okay, we'll do it.
It was like a fever dream, I think, when I read it.
Neva, we should do a throwback to a read a book in 8 hours and do this 2 hours late, 2 years late, not 2 hours late, 2 years late.
Because we never did one, you and I.
No, because it was the day we were supposed to do it. That day I ended up in the hospital.
Let's do it.
And I messaged you from the hospital and was like, Bestie, don't think I'm going to be there.
Sorry. Yeah, we should do this. Oh my gosh, this would be so fun. Okay, let's do this. Let's plan this out. We'll talk about it off camera, but like
we'll probably do it maybe just like on a Thursday. Maybe we'll just start Thursday early one Thursday because nobody's going to read it with us. That everyone has read this book except me.
And well, I mean, I read it, but I don't remember anything about it.
Right. Like, I don't think people will read it with us. It's more for you and I to do it.
Let me go throw this into the Libby right now to make sure I can get the audiobook.
Write it down somewhere that we discuss this
here,
on later. Because like truly
I have my planner right here.
Perfect. Awesome. While you do that, I'm going to try and remember what other 2 books I bought because I can't remember now. Oh, She Drives Me Crazy, which is a queer sapphic hockey romance. Or not hockey, sorry, basketball. Wrong sport. It's fine. And I got one more. What did I get? Oh, Darling Girls by Sally Hempworth, which I know is not like the best thriller, but I've heard like pretty good things. And for $3, I was like, I'll give it a try. You know, like $3 if I don't like it.
Exactly.
Who cares? But it might be a fun, like, you know, palate cleanser thing. And then you will be so proud of me. Because I did something based off something that you have done. You inspired me. You influenced me, Miss Influencer.
What?
And
you're the one influencing me. This is fun.
I know. I wanted to tell you live, so I didn't Voxer you this tidbit of information. But I've been getting a lot of ARGs lately. Not just through NetGalley, but I think from doing TikTok, I'm getting connected with a lot of indie authors, and therefore I'm getting ARCs, which is so exciting and so lovely. But my brain was starting to have a moment of like, what is what and when is where and what do I need to read by when? Do you know what I'm saying? Like my brain couldn't process it any longer. So you know how I have like the tiny baby Kindle? Like I don't have it's not a full size. It's like the smaller one.
Oh yeah. You have the, you have one like Ari's. You have like a Kindle, what used to be the Kindle Basic.
Yes. Yeah. I have one of those, and then I have like my regular Paperwhites.
Yeah, because I actually really want to get a Kindle Basic. I just think they're so cute.
So they're so cute, and it's what I use to read at bedtime in the bed because it's so little, and it's like teeny tiny, and it's great.
It's barely bigger than a phone, so
it's so tiny, but it's like great for in the bed when you're just like getting ready to go to sleep. And I've been reading one of my ARCs every night at bedtime, just like to get, you know, through them. Most of them I have to physically read. Like it's a good time to do that. Yeah. And I decided to make an ARC Kindle out of my Kindle Basic.
I'm so proud of you. Yes. Yeah, so because this is going to lead to a discussion now.
This is why, didn't I tell you? I was like, I did things this weekend that we will discuss.
So for anyone who doesn't know, I have 2 Kindles now. I don't know how you wouldn't know this if you're part of my channel. At this point, I've said it 1,001 times. But
or if you've been watching the morning show, because we 100% have discussed this. That's
but
where
the girl has 2 Kindles now, okay? And we call them Well, Ari calls them the spicy Kindle and the not spicy Kindle because one has like spice stickers all over it and the other one is very like very demure. Very cutesy. But they're names because I do name my Kindles, which I don't know if that's stupid, but
honestly, you mentioned this the other day to me, and I went, I really should name my Kindles.
I mean, you just go into your settings, and then at the top, what it'll do is it'll show you like where it will say like Brittany's Kindle or whatever, because that's like the default.
Yes.
It will show like the name of your Kindle when you're on like the library screen.
Yeah, I need to do this. I want to name my Kindles. This is something I need to do.
So the OG Kindle, her name is Harley Quindle. Ari named her, okay? And we don't argue with Ari.
No.
Right? And then Miss Demure, Miss Cutesy over here, her name is Calliope. Yes. And Margaret and I came up with this because Hercules, like Disney Hercules, is coming to like Broadway. And we were talking about the muses.
Yep.
And I wanted like a muse that people would know. You know what I'm saying? So we were like looking up. So that's what this is. But Calliope is my like TBR Kindle, right? This is like the Kindle that has all of my monthly TBR books. This is only used for TBR reading because your girl, am I good at reading my TBR? We're not going to talk about that. And then Harley Quindle has, because this is like the Paperwhite from 2021, so it's slightly smaller than the Paperwhite from 2024. This one has ARCs, Libby, and project books. So this is like this is a KU book. So this is
like
a book
your vlogging projects,
right? For KU clean out, because what I'm hoping, and I'm saying it to the universe so that people will hold me accountable for this, that what this will get me to do is it will get me to switch between projects.
Yeah.
Because this has like right now it has like the next 2 episodes of Kindle KU clean out, the next episode of my reading my friend's favorite books, which the episode I'm working on right now has a lot of audio, so that's also good because I'm able to like switch to audiobook. And then it also has my ARCs and my Libby books, because I'm going to do something with Libby that's similar to what I've been doing with ARCs and KU clean out. It's just like a clean out style like vlog project.
Yeah.
Because I find that that's the only way I'm going to read them. I fear.
I feel like this is what's great about 2025 BookTube. Let me just point out that like BookTube this year is different. We all looked at our TBRs and instead of making content that has nothing to do with the books we actually need to read, we all went, well, hold up, wait a minute. This makes no sense. Yes, it's fun to have the most ridiculous vlog concept, and that's like fun, and it's great to have like fun, chaotic things, and that's great. But at the end of the day, we have so many books that we want to read. Like, how can we actually read them? So like we have so many people who are doing like series vlogs now, when even at the end of last year, I'd be like, it's so hard to read series because nobody vlogs them. And now we can. And I'm just glad that we've all like decided that this is what 2025 BookTube is going to look like. Like, I love this for us.
I also think that people outside of BookTube, so by this I mean people that don't like, that watch it but don't necessarily make the content, don't always understand how stressful it is to have to keep on the pulse of the book community in order to constantly be pumping out like vlogs around the newest, greatest books. And the thing is like then it also becomes oversaturated, because if everyone is making videos around like the newest books that have dropped and the newest bestsellers, then everybody's just getting the same content over and over. And so then some people's videos are doing really well, those people that get them pumped out, you know, the first couple of weeks, but then after that, people after that, their videos aren't doing as well because now people are burned out on it. Which is why like someone did ask me if I was going to read Sunrise on the Reaping, I am. That's the newest Hunger Games book. I do have the audiobook through Libro FM. My brother is actually listening to it right now. He might be done with it now. I don't know. He was like binge listening to it yesterday. Apparently I'm going to be in tears, so
I've heard that we will not be okay. Yeah.
But I am doing a vlog project with the Hunger Games.
Yes.
Now it's not only the Hunger Games. Hunger Games will just be the first. And I'm not going to tell y'all what it is. I think Brittany knows, but if she doesn't, she does. But if she doesn't remember, I'll tell her.
I know.
But Hunger Games will not be the only series that I do this particular project with, but it will be the first one because it has a new book that has dropped. So it makes sense in my brain to do it this way. And I do want to like annotate the original trilogy. I've never actually annotated the original trilogy because I read it before my annotation era was here. I read it, 20 years ago when it came out. I mean, I've read it since then too, but not. I don't actually think I've read it in its entirety more than twice because was it the second one that people don't like?
For which one? Sorry.
For the original Hunger Games trilogy?
Oh, I love Catching Fire is my favorite.
Or is it the third one? I don't remember.
I think people like it. I just think Mockingjay is a hard read and people don't like how it ended because it did end. It didn't end in a way that gives you like this like beautiful, hopeful feeling. Well, that doesn't make sense for that series though. Like anyone who wants that beautiful,
it doesn't
at the end. Well, I'm so sorry. That's not what this series is. It's has a little bit of it at the end. There is a moment of like somewhat hopefulness, but like that's not what that series was ever meant to be.
I am also a person who like once an adaptation is made, I will just go watch the adaptation.
I mean, the movies are great.
The movies are awesome.
The movies are fabulous.
Now, I do think for anyone who's watching this or listening to this, it's never read the Hunger Games, because I know there are a lot of people coming out saying like, oh, I never read them, like when they were popular or whatever. I feel like they never lost popularity, but you know what I mean? Like when they first came out. I will say this. I do think that you're doing yourself an injustice if you've only ever seen the movies, because there's a lot that's left out of the movies. And I have always said from the beginning when the movies first came out, I remember when the movies first came out because I was pregnant with, maybe he was just born. I was either like at the end of my pregnancy with my first child or he had just been born. Like he was a baby. And people were like, the movies don't make any sense. And I'm like, that's because you haven't read the books. Because to me, the Hunger Games books are an adaptation that are actually more like a companion to the books than they are like their own entity.
Well, in the books, obviously, you have to cut out so much to make a movie that isn't like 400 hours long. Like there has to be a lot cut out. And there's a lot of really like I reread The Hunger Games in 2023, I think was when I reread the original.
I think that's when you did too, yeah.
And it is one of the few, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's one of the few YA series that I enjoyed as a teenager that upon reread as an adult still holds up. And I still appreciate it. And I still love it. And it's still good writing. The commentary is good. The character work is still good. I'm not irritated by the shenanigans of teenagers.
And like, it ages well, too. I mean, maybe a little too well.
That's a whole other discussion. But it's one of the ones that like still as an adult you go, wow, this is still really, really good. Unlike some other series that I loved at the same time as reading Hunger Games as a teenager that I did also try to reread in 2023 and went, you know what? I'm going to remember this for what it was.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that down because if I continue to try to read this, I am going to hate it. And I want to leave it for what it is in my heart. In my heart.
Also, for that particular series, we definitely have movies that we can just go enjoy.
And the movies are not good either. Don't get me wrong. Unlike the Hunger Games movies, I will say the I'm just gonna say it. The Twilight movies
they're not good, but they're one of those. But I would rather. I can watch the movies and be here for a good time and not a long time. You know what I'm saying? But the books, I could not get back through them.
I couldn't. But do we recall what, again, back to that time where we had to cancel No Exit? What did I do to recover from my surgery?
You watched Twilight. And the thing is,
I watched it on repeat. I watched it aggressively.
The Twilight movies are a franchise of movies that I will turn on in the background as like, oh, I need something to fill the void, but I don't want to listen to music or an audiobook.
To fill the void. I feel this. Like, I don't know what it is.
They're not good.
They're not.
They weren't good when they came out. I mean, we ate them up like they were the best thing, but like...
And like, also, would not give money to the author, would not, like, I already own them. These are things that I've owned for long before we knew that, you know, all the things. But they're comfort movies for me, but the books, I cannot consume them without it ruining it. And for some reason, the movies are still a comfort for me. I don't know why, because they are not good. The Hunger Games movies are good. Like, they are actually legitimately good movies and legitimately good books.
Right.
The other series, it's just, I don't know. It was a formative time in my life. So therefore it will always have that, you know, space for me. But, yeah, I love the Hunger Games, and I do need to read Sunrise on the Reaping. But back to what we were talking about to get to this point, you were saying how everyone's reading like the same popular books. And I think we've all gone into 2025 differently with that too, because we all watched, there was so much talk when Best Books of the Year came out this year that everybody was talking about the same 10 books. Everybody was talking about the same 10 books.
And it's because we all read the same 200 books last year.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that those were the best 10 books out there. And it wasn't that there weren't better books that were published. It wasn't that, oh, publishing was just horrible last year. So these were the only good books.
It's just that 2024, especially with things that happened, like there, we had, you know, half of 2024 was the St. Martin's Press boycott.
Yep.
So there were a lot of us that weren't talking about, like me, I didn't ever talk about like Divine Rivals or Ruthless Vows. I mean, now I'm like screaming it from the rooftops because I was like, okay, the boycott, you know, it's kind of exploded, but like once it ended, I started talking about it because there is a vlog where I do bucket list-a-thon, and I read Ruthless Vows as part of that because I was like, at least this way I can have a footing into talking about Divine Rivals, because in reality, Divine Rivals was my best book of 2023. It was that, and then Magnolia Park.
Truly, we had to pause this just for a second because kids and real life happened for a second there. And I normally, when we edit these, we splice them together so that it looks seamless, that the conversation just kept going. But truly, neither of us remember fully what sentence we were in the middle of. So if this transition's a little weird, just go with it, friends. This is the morning show. Welcome. Our spoons are running out this morning. Truly.
Monday is Tuesday ever.
I'm not gonna lie. My spoons are really nearing the end of their stack today. Today has been a day.
A high spoon day. Well, and I had a doctor's appointment this morning.
You did.
On the morning of and honestly, like I go to the doctor and I have to come home and take a nap. I noticed some people, like the doctor's office is not like a high spoon thing. And honestly, like what I was doing for some people would not be high spoon. Like I went to the walk-in clinic to get something checked out. I'm fine. Okay?
You're fine. It was a very like check up, check in.
Yeah,
check
but I went to the walk-in clinic, and to most people that like for me, it was very in and out. I was in there less than an hour. Like it wasn't like I was in there for, you know, in the ER for 12 hours or anything like that.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that, like, first of all, the walk-in doctor is not my doctor. You never know which, it's always a doctor, like, in the clinic. Like, it's not, like, an on-call doctor, if that makes sense. Our hospital is small, and our doctor's office is small enough that it's just normal doctors on rotation.
Yes.
Okay. So, but I never know which doctor I'm getting. it's my actual like chronic pain doctor, like the doctor I see the most regularly, doesn't do the walk-in clinic. Like she's not part of that. So I know I'm never seeing my actual doctor.
Right. Which is always stressful when you don't know, and you don't know if they're going to be good or if they're going to be like understanding, because let's be honest, the gaslighting in the medical industry, truly.
And it doesn't help that like the doctors that we have now are not the doctors we had 15 or 10 years ago, 15 years ago when I lived in town the first time.
Yes.
So these are all like these are all people that got their doctorates and like became doctors and nurses. I went to high school with most of the doctor staff. Okay. One of the like literally one of the OBGYNs is someone I went to high school with.
See, that's what I couldn't get on board with, is having someone that I knew down there. Like that's not, I can't, I don't think I can get on board with that. I love how this is where this conversation has gone.
Truly, he is a couple of years older than me.
You never know.
But when I was looking at like the OBG, we only have I think it's 2 OBGYNs. I'm gonna have to just see her husband because it's her and her husband that are the OBs, and I don't know who her husband is.
I would go to the husband.
He's some random guy, and I have no qualms with seeing a male OBGYN. No, I have most of my life.
Unless they're like creepy, but like most
I'm just like, I don't know that I want some girl that like I went to high school with that you were like a popular cheerleader to be like,
oh no. Not the person, not on top of the fact, like, I don't think I would be okay with someone that I knew previously, but like, especially high school, like,
and
popular girl.
No. She was definitely not like one of the popular girls that was like mean. She was nice.
Doesn't matter.
But I just can't even imagine.
No.
I can't, no, thank you. No, thank you. Luckily, like, unless I was to like a miracle was to happen and I was to get pregnant, my chronic pain doctor can do all of my womanly exams, so I really don't have to worry about it. But like, I was just like, that's crazy. But this guy that I got today, I'm pretty sure I went to high school with him. I think he was actually maybe like a year or so younger than me, as opposed to like older. But he clearly did not recognize me. And a lot of the doctors that don't recognize me assume that I'm younger than I am. So I'm 33 for reference. But I swear to God, like I go into the doctor, they think that I'm a high schooler. Yeah. Because he was like asking me all these questions about like, why do you think that this is what's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how old do you think I am? Because I am 33. So like it was in and out. And then they just called me with my results. Like, it's not like they made me stay there.
Yeah.
But like I came back from the doctor and immediately went and laid down until we came to record. And it's because for me, going to the doctor is a high spoon task. It doesn't matter if it's me going, if I'm taking Ari, if it's it could be an appointment that was scheduled 6 months out. And on the day of, I'm just like, I go and I'm just like so exhausted. It's like I'm so drained after. So yeah.
No, I can understand this. Not so much for me medically, but when you have a child who has a lot of medical needs, I feel like I have always gone, and again, I don't really talk about my child online, so we'll talk kind of around stuff. But when you have a child who has a lot of medical needs, and you have to be the advocate for your child, you go into any medical appointment like you are entering a war. Like you are like ready, because again, gaslighting in the medical industry is a thing, and they want to get and also in I mean, I think it's probably the same for any medical system, but our medical system is extremely overtasked with population increases and just not enough building of resources to cover that. And that happens. I think that's across the board. I don't think that's just a Canada problem. I think everyone can relate to that being a common issue in the medical industry, with like populations just growing so quickly right now. But like they're trying to process people very quickly. So they're trying to get you out of their office as humanly and fast as possible as they can. But that doesn't necessarily equate the best care. It doesn't not necessarily, like some doctors are fabulous and doing great things and doing all, like there's also wonderful ones, but you have to go in, and when you are advocating for yourself or for your child, you have to go in with a heavy mindset. Like it's a different mindset. And I think everybody needs to do that. I don't think anyone in the world is very busy, and you are one person to their 17,000 people they are taking care of. And I think if you aren't on top of your own care or on top of your child's care or whoever, like you need to advocate for yourself in the medical industry because nobody else is going to for you. Like
nobody knows what you as a patient are going through, but with the medical gaslighting on top of it, it makes it hard sometimes too. And like, I don't talk about, I mean, sometimes I'll say like, oh, Ari has a cold or whatever, but like Ari's like actual medical stuff.
Yeah, we don't talk about
no
that.
one knows that. And honestly,
we have chosen to be on the internet. Our children have not chosen.
Exactly. And honestly, the only reason that Ari is seen as much as she is, because I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but in 2025, I have actually not really even posted Ari like on my grid, like on Instagram. The only reason that people see her as much as they do like in lives is because it's kind of hard sometimes if I'm doing sprints and she pops in.
We're live.
I can't always stop her from popping in. However, it's 2 seconds usually. And she, I don't think, has actually been in a public YouTube video since 2023.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And back then, first of all, like we were very small channels back then. So it's
I think the last one she was in was my Iowa vlog. That was in 2023.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Even then, like a lot of it was like muted and it had music over it because we did a lot of activities with my grandma.
Yeah, it was B-roll. And
so that was a lot of B-roll of like her running through the botanical gardens and like so like there were spots in there, and a lot of it was because the partner I had at the time, while very supportive, also kind of felt like everything needed to be filmed. And I was like, not everything needs to be filmed. So I would get a little bit of B-roll like here and there because like, yes, if we're doing something fun, like we don't go to the botanical gardens every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, yes, I was like, okay, well, we're on vacation. Like I will get some footage, but there was a lot of stuff that I didn't film. Like I didn't film when we were like out to eat dinner or anything like that. But like when we went to the botanical gardens, you know, that was fun. And so I think like there's a spot in that video where if you're paying enough attention, you can't hear me, but I do say, Ari, say hi to the vlog. And you see her in the vlog turn around and she like waves and then she runs off.
Then she's not.
But it's very much like it's not her like talking to the camera or anything like that. I try to keep Ari, I don't know, people are creepy.
People are so creepy.
And people are so creepy. All the weird family vlog stuff. I mean, it's been happening for years, but I always, and like, I am a person who believes that like, if you're afraid that you're not being a good parent, then you are a good parent. Like if you're questioning constantly, like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing the right thing? Oh my gosh, am I doing enough? Like you probably are. You know what I'm saying? Because if you weren't questioning it, then there'd be no room for growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I followed the Ruby Frankie thing. Like I've followed all of that. And here's the thing. I am not a person who's like, oh, I followed Ruby Frankie, but I've never watched a family vlogging channel in my life. That's not true. I used to watch mommy vloggers all the time. However, when I started watching them, it was in like 2015, 2017-ish. It was like around the time that I found Amber Wardell, who's now she's just Amber Wardell. But back then she was the sensible mama. And she like, I mean, I've sung her praises. Okay. Y'all don't want to.
I do think there's a lot more family vlogging channels now though, that don't show the kids. Like they'll talk around the children, which I think is really nice.
So back then that's what we got. It was it was moms that were like, they were trying to make a community for other moms. So there were a lot of like clean with me videos. There was a lot like, you know, cleaning motivations. There was a lot of cooking videos. There were a lot of like Pinterest worthy, like lunchbox videos.
If you're going on like a trip, like
pack with me. Yeah. Honestly, and I've said this from jump, Amber taught me how to pack a diaper bag with pouches because I'm gonna be real, before I found Amber, I was just throwing crap into a diaper bag and calling it a day. There was no organization.
And I think especially for new moms, it's really nice to find those videos that can give you those little tips and tricks that as like seasoned moms, after you've had one kid, you kind of have your tips and tricks that you fall back on to make your life easier. But new moms don't have a chance to have built those up yet. Right. And I do think there is a space for that on the YouTube and in places. I think the line is for me is if you are making all your money off your children, like on your
and unfortunately that's where mommy vlogging, family vlogging, I say mommy because it's usually the moms that are doing that. Yeah. But like family vlog channels went from being a sense of community
tips and tricks,
being talking about our children's medical needs, talking about our 12-year-old having her first menstrual cycle. No one needs to know that on the internet, bro. You do not need, I do not need a video of you taking your 11-year-old undergarment shopping, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't need that, and I don't want that. And so I stopped watching mom channels, like vlogging channels, because I was like, hey, this is turned into something like way darker. Like, it was one thing when we were like talking about like, here's a way that you can pack for Disney. And I do still follow those channels. Those channels like Gator Mom. I don't know if anyone even knows who that is. She is an American mom channel that I think they live in Orlando. I think they go to Disney World a lot.
Yep.
And even through the pandemic, like she was still doing, her whole channel was like bag channel, like bags. So she started, and I found her around the same time that I found Amber, because it was her, Amber, and then there was one other person that I had found all at the same time. And all of them were bag packing channels. They all did like jujube bags and stuff like that, and they would teach you how to pack your bags, and here's how you can use the jujube bags you already have, because they were expensive, okay, but they were like, here's how you can use your jujube bags that are diaper bags technically that you already have as like your mom bag or your work bag if you're going back to work, like that kind of thing. And that was what the channels were. But while they might bring their kids up, or they might say, I have 4 kids, so I'm going to teach you how to pack this for twins or whatever. You never saw the kids.
No, you don't. They're talking about, and it's the same as when we talk about our kids. A lot of time it's our experience as a mother that we're talking about. We're not talking about our specific things about our children. And those are different. That is a different thing. When I'm talking about being an advocacy for my child, or actually going into the details of what I'm advocating for, those are 2 different conversations.
Yeah, you're not going to know.
I will have on this morning show, and one of them we would never discuss on this morning.
Exactly. I mean, I will talk about. I mean, Brittany and I are both of our children are, of different needs. I don't like saying special needs.
Yeah, we said that last week on the show. We actually somehow we have moved. We swung back to a conversation we had last week.
Because they have different,
they're neurodivergent.
They're neurodivergent. Yeah. And so I will say that like Ari is neurodivergent, and I will talk about my experience as a neurodivergent parent of a neurodivergent child,
but not talk about her.
But I'm not going to tell you what her exact neurodivergencies are. I'll share mine.
Her story to tell.
Yeah, you can know my neurodivergencies all day. I tell people all the time. I'm autistic. I got ADHD. I'm anxious as hell. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, we talk about our mental health all the time.
But it's not anyone's business on the internet to know what Ari's neurodivergencies are. All you need to know is that she's neurodivergent, and then and so sometimes, we have to. Sometimes she's not a food that she just ate yesterday. She now claims that she hates.
That's so relatable. So relatable. Or like in the middle of the morning show, we have to do a pause to parent and come back. And the transition may not be the neatest because neither of us can remember what we were talking about. It's fine. It's fine.
Exactly. Or, I'll be in the middle of filming a vlog, and then I have gotten really good with vlogging at stopping my camera. Like, as opposed to like just letting it run.
I just let it run.
Back in the day, I just let it run. And then here's the thing though, is I am an anxious parent. I don't know if we ever talked about that. Like, I have anxiety, but also as a parent, I'm a very
Yes.
anxious human being.
Yes.
So I sometimes think that I come off to other people as like being snappy or yelling at Ari, even though that's not what's happening. I don't speak to Ari like she's a child. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, like when she was a baby, like I've watched old videos of me like talking to her, and I would like pitch my voice higher, but I wasn't using like baby talk.
Baby voice.
So at 7, where she has a very like, I mean, you all have heard her talk. She's very sassy. She has a very, she can speak like an adult.
Yeah.
Like a small human being.
She's a small human. She's a
I
tiny
speak
woman.
to her that way. So sometimes, especially if I've asked her or told her to do things more than one time, eventually my nerves start to play in, and I'm like, bro, I've asked you to do this so many times. But sometimes I will watch that footage back, and I'm like, if this made it onto the internet, people would think I was the worst parent ever. Like, what the hell? So like now I've gotten really good at like stopping the camera.
Oh, I just let it roll. But usually what will happen is because our kids are very different ages. So when I have to go do something, it's more like, Mom, can you come upstairs and fix something or do something or whatever. So usually what will happen is it's just dead air. Like if I just let it roll, it is just my chair in silence. Like that is all that is.
Ari is like a whole conversation. Like I don't even need to move out of the way. She's just like, hey mom, blah, 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 blah. And then she'll realize halfway through whatever she's saying, and she'll be like, oh, were you filming? Yes, and now I've lost my train of thought, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. We will start over. It's fine. It's all good. It's fine. But Neva, we've been here for an hour. I don't know how that has happened. I don't even truly, because I said this to Neva before, like in the middle, because I was the one that had to go parent because we're filming later today than we normally do. And I was the one that had to go parent. And I said, my brain is just like, woo today. Like and again, I did mention my spoons are low today. Like my brain is not fully.
Yeah, all of our spoons
working today
are low today. It is, I mean, and some days, I mean, our show is called Not Enough Spoons for
Not
Mom.
Enough Spoons.
Like you're just gonna get low spoon days sometimes.
Today was mine. So truly, do I know what we talked about for the last hour? No, I don't. I'm sure it was fun, but I do know that we are going to end it here because it has been an hour. And I do know that I'm going to sign off and you are going to hear a little bit of music and see a lovely blooper from the beginning of this live show, because trust me, if you want to see a moment between Neva and I, you'll have it. And you'll see how even from the very outset of this live show, when I tried to say hello to you all and had a blooper moment, you'll know that she had no spoons. She had no spoons. And that was how this Monday was. So if you want to see a little blooper, you'll see it right after this. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next Monday. And we love you all. Have a good week. Bye. Just surprise bloopers at the end of the. I'm just gonna take this whole section and woo! Okay, let's try this again. Hi everyone, welcome to. Sorry, I messed up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I literally went to call it the morning show because I keep typing, like if I put it in as a file,
yeah, because we shorten it to the morning show.
And then I went, oh no, that's not the name of this. Okay, let's.